The bus rumbled along the dusty highway, carrying Maya closer to her dreams with every mile. She clutched her worn backpack tightly, her friend David sleeping against the window beside her. After years of struggling in their small town of Riverside, they were finally heading to Metro City, where Maya's older sister Linda had promised them a fresh start. "You think your sister will really help us?" David asked groggily, rubbing his eyes as he woke. "Linda always keeps her promises," Maya replied, though uncertainty flickered in her voice. "She said the city has opportunities. Real jobs. A chance at a better life." David nodded, adjusting his cap. He'd been Maya's closest friend since childhood, always there through thick and thin. When she told him about Linda's invitation, he'd immediately offered to come along, promising to find work and help however he could. As the city skyline came into view, Maya's heart raced. Towering buildings gleamed in the afternoon sun, a stark contrast to the simple structures of Riverside. This was it, their chance to escape poverty and build something meaningful. Linda's house took Maya's breath away. It wasn't a mansion, but compared to their tiny rental back home, it might as well have been a palace. The modern two-story home sat in a gated community, with manicured lawns and expensive cars lining the driveways. "Welcome." Linda emerged from the front door, her designer clothes and polished appearance making Maya suddenly conscious of her own simple dress. They embraced warmly, sisterly love overriding any awkwardness. "And who is this?" Linda asked, eyeing David with interest. "This is David, my friend from back home. I told you about him, remember? He came to help me settle in and look for work." Linda's smile widened. "Of course. Any friend of my sister's is welcome here. Come in, both of you." The house's interior was even more impressive. Plush furniture, modern appliances, and artwork adorning the walls. Maya felt a mix of pride for her sister's success and overwhelming gratitude for this opportunity. Over dinner that evening, prepared by Linda's housekeeper Mrs. Chen, they discussed plans. "I own a boutique downtown," Linda explained. "High-end fashion. Very successful. I need a new delivery driver, actually. David, you mentioned you can drive." David straightened in his chair. "Yes, ma'am. I've been driving for 5 years. Trucks, vans, whatever you need." "Perfect. We'll do a test run tomorrow. If it works out, the job is yours. 200,000 a month to start." David nearly choked on his water. That was more money than he'd ever dreamed of making. Maya felt tears prick her eyes. "Linda, thank you so much. For everything. You're my sister," Linda said warmly. "Family helps family. Besides, I remember what it was like starting out. Someone gave me a chance once. Now I'm passing it forward." That night, as Maya lay in the comfortable guest room Linda had prepared for her, she couldn't stop smiling. Everything was falling into place. David would have a good job, and Linda had promised to help her find work too. Maybe at the boutique, or through one of her business connections. She thought about David, sleeping in another guest room down the hall. He'd always been there for her, but their relationship had always been purely platonic. Just friends. Good friends. Best friends, even. Nothing more. At least, that's what she kept telling herself. But as sleep finally claimed her, Maya couldn't shake a small feeling of unease. She'd seen the way Linda looked at David during dinner, with an interest that went beyond simply hiring an employee. And she'd noticed how Linda had insisted they take separate rooms, despite Maya's casual suggestion that she and David could share since they'd traveled together. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe she was just tired and reading too much into things. Or maybe, just maybe, coming to Metro City was about to complicate her life in ways she never anticipated. Thanks for reading Chapter 1. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss chapter. Drop a comment below telling us what you think will happen next. Will David take the job? What is Linda really planning? Stay tuned. The morning sun streamed through the windows as Maya made her way downstairs. The smell of fresh coffee and pastries filled the air. Linda was already dressed impeccably in a cream blazer and matching pants, reviewing something on her tablet. "Good morning. I hope you slept well," Linda said brightly. "David should be down soon. We have that test drive scheduled." As if on cue, David appeared, looking slightly uncomfortable in his clean but simple clothes. Maya noticed Linda's eyes sweep over him appraisingly. "Ready to show me what you can do?" Linda asked, dangling a set of car keys. They headed to the garage, where a sleek silver luxury SUV waited. David's eyes widened. He'd never driven anything so expensive in his life. "Don't worry," Linda said, sensing his hesitation. "I trust you. Besides, that's what insurance is for, right?" She laughed, a musical sound that seemed calculated to put him at ease. Maya climbed into the back seat, while Linda settled into the passenger side. As David carefully maneuvered the vehicle out of the garage and through the gated community, Linda peppered him with questions. "So, David, why were you stuck in Riverside for so long? A capable man like you could have left any time." David concentrated on the road. "It's not that simple, ma'am. Jobs are hard to find everywhere. And I couldn't just leave without a plan. Maya was the brave one. She reached out to you, made this happen." "Humble too," Linda murmured. "I like that." Maya shifted uncomfortably in the back seat, but said nothing. Linda directed David through the city, pointing out landmarks and occasionally placing her hand on his arm to indicate turns. Each touch seemed to last a moment too long. They stopped at a high-end shopping district where Linda needed to pick up inventory for her boutique. "Maya, sweetheart, would you mind running in and asking for Manager Rodriguez? Tell him Linda sent you. I need to discuss route details with David." Maya hesitated, then nodded and exited the vehicle. As she walked toward the storefront, she glanced back to see Linda leaning closer to David, speaking in low, intimate tones. Inside the store, Maya's errand took longer than expected. When she finally returned to the SUV 15 minutes later, the atmosphere was tense. David gripped the steering wheel tightly, staring straight ahead. Linda looked satisfied, almost smug. "Everything okay?" Maya asked carefully. "Perfect," Linda chirped. "David here is an excellent driver. The job is definitely his. In fact, I'm thinking of increasing the salary to $250,000 monthly. He's worth it." David remained silent. That evening, after an elaborate dinner, Linda insisted on showing David her collection of rare wines in the cellar. "You should know what I'll need you to transport sometimes," she explained. "Maya, dear, would you mind helping Mrs. Chen with the dishes? I know it's not fair, but I promise we'll find you work soon." Maya found herself alone in the kitchen with the housekeeper, who worked in efficient silence. Through the floor vent, she could hear muffled voices from the cellar below, Linda's sultry laugh, David's uncomfortable mumblings. Mrs. Chen glanced at Maya sympathetically. "Your sister is very determined when she wants something." "What do you mean?" The older woman chose her words carefully. "I have worked for Miss Linda for 3 years. She is a good employer, very generous. But she is also used to getting what she wants. And she does not like to share." Maya's stomach knotted. "David is just my friend." "Yes," Mrs. Chen said gently. "But does Miss Linda know that? Does David?" The question hung in the air, unanswered. Later that night, Maya caught David alone in the hallway. "Can we talk?" "Not here," he whispered urgently. "Tomorrow. I'll tell you everything tomorrow." But tomorrow came with its own complications. Maya woke to find Linda already gone, a note saying she'd taken David on a special errand to meet her business associates. They wouldn't be back until evening. Alone in the big house, Maya felt trapped. She'd come here seeking opportunity, seeking a better life. Instead, she felt like she was losing something precious, something she hadn't even fully acknowledged she had. When David and Linda finally returned, they were laughing together. Linda had her arm looped through David's. She'd bought him new clothes, expensive designer pieces that transformed his appearance. He looked like he belonged in her world now. "Doesn't he look handsome?" Linda asked Maya, spinning David around like a prize she'd won. "I'm taking him to dinner tomorrow night. A proper welcome to Metro City." David met Maya's eyes briefly, and in that glance, she saw apology, confusion, and something else, temptation. Linda was offering him everything he'd never had. How could he resist? How could Maya compete with that? Maya spent the next day exploring Metro City alone, trying to clear her head. She wandered through markets, past office buildings, and along the waterfront. Everywhere she looked, couples walked hand in hand, happy and carefree. It made her chest ache. By the time she returned to Linda's house, the sun was setting. She found David sitting on the front porch, dressed in his new clothes, waiting. "You came back," he said quietly. "It's where I'm staying," Maya replied, more sharply than intended. "Where else would I go?" "That's not what I meant." David stood, his expression pained. "Maya, I need to explain." "You don't owe me any explanations. We're just friends, right?" "Are we?" The question stopped her cold. "Because sometimes I feel like maybe we could be." "David." "There you are." Linda appeared in the doorway, stunning in a red evening dress. "We need to leave soon. The reservation is at 8. She noticed Maya. "Oh, you're back, little sister. There's leftovers in the fridge. Don't wait up." She linked her arm through David's and practically pulled him toward her car. He looked back at Maya, his eyes full of unspoken words, but he went. Maya stood alone on the porch, watching the taillights disappear. Mrs. Chan appeared beside her, holding a cup of tea. "He will realize," the housekeeper said softly. "Men can be blind sometimes, but they eventually see what is real." "And what if he doesn't?" Maya whispered. "What if Linda's world is too tempting? Money, status, everything I can't give him. Then he is not the man you thought he was." The words stung because they were true. That night, unable to sleep, Maya heard Linda's car return around midnight. Voices drifted up from the foyer, Linda's flirtatious giggling, David's mumbled responses. Then footsteps on the stairs, moving toward Linda's room. Maya held her breath, waiting. Would he really? Long minutes passed in silence. Then she heard a door open and close, not Linda's, but the guest room where David stayed. Relief flooded through her, followed immediately by shame. What right did she have to feel relieved? To feel anything at all? The next morning brought new tensions. Linda was cold at breakfast, pushing her food around her plate. "I thought you were different," she said suddenly to David. "I offer you everything, a great job, a place in my life, opportunities beyond your wildest dreams, and you reject me?" David set down his coffee carefully. "I'm grateful for the job, Miss Linda. Truly. But I can't be what you want me to be." "Because of her?" Linda's gaze cut to Maya. "My own sister?" "This isn't about," David began, but Linda cut him off. "Oh, please. I'm not blind. I see the way you look at each other. The way you've always looked at each other, probably. You came here together after all." Her voice dripped with bitterness. "I was just the meal ticket, wasn't I? The rich sister who could give you both what you wanted." "That's not fair," Maya said, finding her voice. "I came here because you offered to help. I didn't know. I didn't realize." "What?" "That I might actually like him. That I might want something for myself, for once." Linda stood abruptly. "I've spent years building this life, helping others, being the responsible one. Why can't I have one thing I want?" The pain in her voice was genuine, and it made Maya's heart clench. She understood, suddenly, that her sister wasn't just being selfish or manipulative. Linda was lonely. For all her success and material wealth, she was desperately lonely. "Linda," Maya said gently, "you deserve to be happy. You deserve someone who loves you for who you are, not what you can provide. But that person isn't David. You know it isn't. Linda's eyes glistened with unshed tears. For a moment, the sophisticated businesswoman facade cracked, revealing the vulnerability beneath. You think I don't know that? She whispered. You think I don't see it? I just thought, maybe if I tried hard enough, if I gave enough. She shook her head. I'm such a fool. David spoke carefully. You're not a fool, Miss Linda. You're accomplished, intelligent, and kind. You've helped us when you didn't have to. But Maya's right. You deserve someone who chooses you first, always. I can't be that person. The silence that followed was heavy with emotion. Finally, Linda straightened, wiping her eyes and rebuilding her composure. Well, she said, her voice brittle, I suppose we all know where we stand now. She looked at Maya. I'm sorry, little sister. I let my loneliness turn me into someone I don't like. Someone who would compete with her own sister for a man's attention. I'm sorry too, Maya said. I should have been honest with myself, and with you, about my feelings from the start. Linda nodded slowly. The job offer still stands, David. If you want it. No strings, no expectations. Just professional. Can you accept that? David looked at Maya, who gave a small nod. Yes, ma'am. I can. And I'll do my best work for you. Good. Linda grabbed her purse. I have meetings all day. Mrs. Chen will show you your delivery schedule. David. Maya. We'll talk later about finding you work. Sister to sister, no complications. After she left, Maya and David stood in the breakfast room, finally alone. So, David said eventually, we need to talk about us. Yes, Maya agreed, her heart pounding. We really do. The following weeks brought an uneasy peace to Linda's household. David started his delivery work, proving himself reliable and professional. Linda kept her distance, throwing herself into expanding her boutique business. And Maya finally secured a job at a local coffee shop, determined to earn her own way. But the unspoken feelings between Maya and David hung in the air like humidity before a storm. One evening, Maya returned from her shift to find David waiting in the garden. The outdoor lights cast long shadows across his face as he stood. We keep avoiding this conversation, he said without preamble. We can't anymore. Maya set down her bag. I know. When did it change for you? David asked. When did I stop being just your friend? Maya thought back, remembering 1,000 small moments. I don't think there was one moment. It was gradual, like the sunrise. One day I woke up and realized you were more than a friend. You were the person I wanted to talk to first when something good happened. The one I sought out when things went wrong. The one I couldn't imagine my life without. David stepped closer. For me, it was when we decided to come here together. I realized I wasn't just coming to Metro City for opportunity. I was coming because wherever you went, I wanted to be there too. Then why didn't we say anything? Why did we let it get this complicated? Fear, David admitted. Fear of ruining our friendship. Fear that you didn't feel the same way. And then we got here, and Linda was so confident, so successful. She made me feel like maybe I could be someone worth something. It confused me. You were always worth something, Maya said fiercely. Linda's money and status didn't create your value. You had it all along. David reached for her hand, and this time, Maya didn't pull away. I almost made a terrible mistake. I almost let ambition and material things blind me to what really mattered. To who really mattered. Linda isn't wrong about one thing, Maya said softly. She can offer you opportunities one can't. A better life, connections, wealth. Stop. David placed a finger gently on her lips. You're doing it again. Measuring yourself by what you don't have instead of recognizing what you do. Maya, you have courage, loyalty, kindness. You see people for who they are, not what they can give you. That's worth more than any amount of money. Maya felt tears well up. David, I love you, he said simply. I should have said it years ago, back in Riverside. I should have said it the day we got on that bus. But I'm saying it now. I love you, Maya. Not as a friend. Not as a companion. As the woman I want to build a life with. The tears spilled over. I love you too. I've loved you for so long, and I was so scared to admit it. They came together then, their first kiss gentle and tentative, full of years of unspoken emotion finally finding release. When they pulled apart, both were smiling through tears. A slow clap broke the moment. They turned to find Linda standing on the patio, watching them. But there was no anger in her expression, only a bittersweet smile. Finally, she said, walking toward them. I thought you two would never figure it out. Linda, Maya began, but her sister waved her off. Don't apologize. I needed to see that. Really see it. She looked between them. What you have is real. I was trying to manufacture something that doesn't exist. You can't force love, no matter how much money or success you throw at it. We never meant to hurt you, David said. I know. And truthfully, I hurt myself by pursuing something that was never mine to have. Linda turned to Maya. I've been thinking a lot these past weeks. About why I really invited you here. To help me, Maya said. Because you're my sister and you care. That was part of it. But if I'm honest, it was also loneliness. I've built this life, achieved success, but I come home to an empty house every night. When you told me about David, about this friend who'd stuck by you through everything, I think I was jealous. I wanted what you had. Maya embraced her sister. You'll find it, Linda. Someone who sees you, really sees you, and loves you for all the right reasons. Linda hugged her back. Maybe. But first, I need to figure out who I am beyond the business and the money. I've been hiding behind success for so long, I forgot to build a real life. They stood together in the garden, the three of them, and for the first time since arriving in Metro City, Maya felt like things were truly settling into place. Over the following months, their relationships evolved. David continued working for Linda, but on purely professional terms. Maya excelled at the coffee shop and eventually got promoted to shift supervisor. And Linda began attending therapy, slowly working through her loneliness and learning to build genuine connections. One Saturday evening, they all gathered for dinner, a regular tradition they'd established. Linda had even started dating someone she'd met at a business conference, a humble architect who challenged her and made her laugh. You know what I realized, Linda said over dessert. When I invited you here, I thought I was doing you a favor. But really, you both saved me. You showed me that real wealth isn't in bank accounts or possessions. It's in relationships. In people who love you for who you are. Maya raised her glass. To family. Real family. And to love, David added, squeezing Maya's hand. In all its forms. They clinked glasses, three people who'd learned that the golden promise of a better life wasn't about money or success. It was about finding where you truly belonged, and with whom. 2 years later, Maya stood in front of a modest apartment building in a quiet neighborhood of Metro City. She held keys in one hand and David's hand in the other. Ready? He asked with a grin. Ready, she confirmed. They'd saved diligently, both working hard at their jobs. David had been promoted to Linda's logistics manager, overseeing all deliveries and inventory. Maya had left the coffee shop to pursue her real passion, community education, and now ran after-school programs for underprivileged kids. The apartment wasn't large or fancy. It had 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a small kitchen. But it was theirs. Their first home together. As they walked through the empty rooms, planning where furniture would go, Maya felt a contentment she'd never experienced before. This was what she'd really been searching for when she left Riverside. Not wealth or status, but the freedom to build a life on her own terms, with someone she loved. I never thought I'd see you this happy, a voice said from the doorway. Linda stood there, dressed casually in jeans and a simple blouse, a far cry from her usual designer outfits. Beside her was Marcus, her architect boyfriend, carrying a large box. "We brought a housewarming gift," Marcus said warmly. He was everything Linda needed: kind, grounded, and completely unimpressed by wealth. He loved her for her sharp mind and generous heart. Inside the box were kitchen supplies, linens, and a beautiful framed photo, the four of them together at Linda's birthday party last month, all smiling genuinely. "You didn't have to do this," Maya protested, but Linda waved her off. "Family helps family, remember? Besides, Marcus and I are getting pretty good at this domestic stuff. We might need the practice." She shared a meaningful look with her boyfriend. Maya's eyes widened. "Linda, are you?" "Not yet," Linda laughed. "But we're talking about moving in together. Crazy, right? Me, the woman who swore she'd never share her space with anyone." "Love changes people," David observed. "In the best ways." That evening, after Linda and Marcus left, Maya and David sat on the floor of their empty living room, eating takeout and dreaming about the future. "Do you ever regret it?" David asked suddenly. "Coming to Metro City? Everything that happened?" Maya considered the question seriously. "The journey was complicated, painful sometimes. But it taught me so much. About myself, about what really matters. And it brought us here." She gestured around the apartment. "This might not look like much to others, but to me, it's everything." "To me too," David agreed. He pulled out a small box from his pocket, and Maya's breath caught. "I've been waiting for the right moment," he said, opening it to reveal a simple silver ring with a modest stone. "Nothing fancy, but it's real. Like us. Like what we've built together." He met her eyes. "Maya, will you marry me?" Through happy tears, Maya nodded. "Yes. Yes, absolutely yes." As he slipped the ring on her finger, she thought about the journey that had brought them here. They'd left Riverside seeking opportunity, nearly lost themselves in the glittering promises of wealth and status, and finally found what they were really searching for all along: each other. 6 months later, they married in a small ceremony at a community center in their neighborhood. Linda and Marcus were there, along with Mrs. Chen, Maya's co-workers, David's delivery team, and children from Maya's after-school program. It wasn't a grand society wedding. There were no expensive flowers or elaborate decorations. But it was filled with genuine love and laughter, with people who cared about them for who they truly were. During her toast, Linda raised her glass with tears in her eyes. "When my little sister came to Metro City 2 years ago, I thought I was giving her a gift, the opportunity for a better life. But she gave me something far more valuable. She reminded me that the best things in life can't be bought. They have to be built, one honest moment at a time." To Maya and David, may your life together be rich in all the ways that truly matter. As the evening wound down, Maya found herself on the community center's small balcony, looking at the city lights. David joined her, wrapping his arms around her waist. "Thinking about Riverside?" he asked. "Actually, yes. Maybe we should visit soon. Show everyone that you can leave home, chase your dreams, and not lose yourself in the process." "I like that idea," David said. "Show them that success isn't just about money or status. It's about building a life you're proud of, with people you love." Maya leaned back against him, feeling completely at peace. Metro City had tested them, challenged them, and nearly broke them apart. But it had also forged them into something stronger. They'd learned that the golden promise everyone chases, wealth, success, status, is hollow without real connection. That true richness comes from love, from integrity, from building something meaningful with your own hands and heart. Looking at the ring on her finger, at her husband beside her, at the life they were creating together, Maya finally understood. They'd found their golden promise. And it had been within them all along. The end. Thank you so much for reading The Golden Promise. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. Share this with someone who needs to remember that true wealth comes from love and genuine relationships, not material possessions. Comment below. What was your favorite chapter? What lesson will you take from Maya and David's journey? Don't forget to hit that notification bell for future stories. Until next time, remember, the richest life is one filled with love and authenticity.